Yo guys, welcome back to another video of the F1 Esports 2025 Championship, and this is now round 5, which means this is event 2. And yeah, it's been I think quite a bit of time. I don't remember exactly how many weeks we had in between event 1 and event 2, but nonetheless we had some time to refresh our minds and go again. And as you saw there quickly on the weather prediction or forecast, there will be rain in qualifying. We just don't know when yet. So yeah, of course, the Silverstone gonna be a wet session. We expected nothing less, and we put a lot of time in the training for the wet setups and stuff like that. So we were ready for any occasion, and yeah. But as I was saying, we had a few weeks of not rest, because obviously we had to prepare 4 tracks again, but just mentally reset, because obviously that event 1 is very not optimal, very subpar event. Not what everyone expected from us, and not especially what we didn't expect from ourselves. Looking at the pace in the practice and how we delivered it was not. I don't know. I don't really know what happened in that first event. Hopefully, we can turn it around. There's still 8 races to go, and yeah, I mean the championship is still open, of course, but we are a good 50 points behind Mercedes, I believe, and Red Bull is a bit closer than we are, so that's not good for us. I think we're still we're P5 in the drivers in the team standing, sorry, and we also had a bad start last year, and we came back. Hopefully we don't have to do such a big clutch like last year, where we had to double back-to-back 1-2s. But maybe slowly get our points back up, as we are now ending our first lap in quali Q1. Sorry, the lap was a bit scruffy. I remember Laffield. I went very deep in Brooklands, so Laffield was very compromised, and that first lap was not very good. As you see, we are P14 with a 0.67, so we're gonna go out again on a new set of tires. But as you can see, we went out a bit earlier than the end of the session, because we thought rain was gonna hit and we didn't want to take too many risks. So we said, okay, let's just go out a bit earlier and hopefully do a good enough lap to pass into the next session. We missed a little bit the apex of turn 3 as well for turn 4. I don't know, the setup looked a bit understeery from what I can see now, and I wasn't really hitting the apexes, and I saw the car was a bit lazy, and 0.22 sector 1 is not very good. Apologies for that message. Yeah, 2-2 first is not ideal, but we get a much better Brooklands and Laffield. As you see, we gained more than 70, and we're gonna gain it all the way down this back straight into Cops now, which is easy flat, but there is a little bump on the inside, which yeah, can cost you quite a bit of time if you don't get it properly. We're now 80 up into the S's now, as we actually do them very well. If you see, the delta actually stay the same. Maybe I didn't want to take too much risk on the exit. 0.29 split, but I do believe my last sector was not ideal in the previous lap, so hopefully we can gain some time here, as we do a very good stow there, actually gain about 300s, and then onto the last chicane, down to 3rd gear, short shift to 4th, hit very good both apexes, have a good exit maybe, yes we do, and we improve only by 80, but that brings us all the way up to P8. Yeah, I think I am P15. If I remember correctly, Barry is in P6 now with a 5-1, so he did a very good lap. I don't know, I think I was just struggling, and I couldn't get the car turned in properly. I didn't feel too comfortable in this moment in time, and I was kind of happy that the rain was coming, so maybe it would reset some things. But here we had to gamble, because it started raining, but we couldn't know exactly on the telemetry, and we go out of the pits on the soft tires, as most people do, or I believe it's a half split ish. I think around half the people went out on inters and half the people went out on softs. But as you can see, the people that went out on softs are completely screwed. There is no grip, DRS is disabled, and at this moment I thought it's over. There's Barry in front of me, which means when he pits, I will be held up because I'm right behind him. So I try to make a gap. But as you can see, everyone is back in the pits, or many people are back into the pits already in their first outlap, because they realized there's no grip. Yeah, I believe only 4 or 5 cars went out on softs, and we were one of them. For some reason, we thought the soft was a better choice, but clearly wasn't. And everyone now that is on the inters is on the best track conditions of the session. We believed that there was no improving after this, that there would be too much rain, as we are now on board with the first lap in the wet, and you can see it's raining way more than before, and there's way more water on the track. It's very slidey, and I don't expect this to be a very competitive lap, but we will try our best nonetheless, as we managed turn one flat out. Had to have some confidence there, because you don't really know the conditions, so it's very hard to judge. And the grip is something new, because you can't really practice the wet perfectly, because it's always changing based on how much it's raining and when in the session you're going out. It's very complicated to practice for it, and you just have to basically build a setup that you know is easy enough to drive and won't be too hard, or won't be too easy to make a mistake. So like, obviously we're gonna go very high on the wings and just make it very stable, good on the traction as possible, but it was still hard to drive, not gonna lie. I remember we weren't maybe on max wing, but maybe close, and I think I decided to put even more wing on the car, purely because we were not warmed up, as no one is, as everyone is the same. So not being warmed up in the wet, it's very easy to just make a mistake that can cost you 4 or 5 tenths, and just going a bit wide or locking up the fronts, which is very easy. But we are now 900s up on Alvaro's split, but Alvaro's P10. So at this moment in time, I believe maybe if I have a good last sector, I can maybe get in the top 10 somehow. So we're gonna just try and send it in the last chicane here, down to third gear once again. We missed apex a little bit, short shift to fourth and focus on the exit here, but we don't have ERS. As you see, I can't use ERS because I run out, and we are in P13. We lose more than 2 tenths in the last sector. There was not much I could do there. Maybe I didn't use the ERS properly, which is very, very likely. But we are now at the end of the session, and we had nothing to lose. We just decided I might as well go out, try, because it's raining even more than before, but the track is improving. As you can see there, I hit the turn one bump, and look how much time I lost by hitting turn one bump. I lost almost a tenth into turn three, just from nothing, which is lovely to see in this game. Thankfully, we do a good turn 3 and 4. We gain most of the time back and actually have a better exit, and we are green now. But we really need a banger of a lap here, because that turn 1 did not help us at all. And it looks like I will improve. It looks like the grip is a bit better than before. And who knows, maybe we can improve a little bit just to get into that top 10 and maybe sneak into Q3 after a bad strategy choice at the beginning of the Q2. It's a bit confusing, I know, guys, but it was really hard to tell if the softs or inters were better, because on the telemetry it doesn't say properly what kind of weather it is. But yeah, as we are now, I'm managing the ERS a bit differently than I did before, because I saw my last sector was very, very slow and I didn't have ERS earlier. And we are 3.5 tenths up, and we are 1.5 tenths up on Thomas's split, I believe. But Thomas is P11, so we need to find a little bit more time, or as much time as I can. We are now 4 tenths up as I do a really good cops into the last chicane. I believe this was my best corner of the lap. Really good apex, really good speed. The exit was very solid as well. Stay tight, have a bit more ERS than before. We improved by 7 tenths, and we are P9, barely making it through to Q3. Unfortunately, Barry lost, got P11, so he lost the chance to get to Q3. Very, very tight. 300s off Lucas there. I mean, yeah, I feel for him, because it was just so tight, and especially with how the session went. This was our first lap in Q3 on the softs, or on the... I actually don't understand. Why was I on the softs? Anyway, we were on the softs, it started raining, and then it stopped raining again. And now we're on the inters. Sorry, we were on the inters earlier, my bad. So now we're trying to get the best track possible, because the track is fully drying up. And you see we're all bunched up together, and I find a really good slot right behind Danny here. And as you can see on the top left, Otis is the only car who has chosen to go on the soft tires, which we will see if it will play out or if it will pay out or not. But it was a big gamble, and I believe we are on the right strategy here. Everyone else is on the inters. They don't want to risk it too much. Otis went for the all or nothing. But yeah, we're going to focus on getting a good starting position for the race as we get a good exit there. 2/10 up now. Everyone will improve massively, so we cannot invalidate this lap in no circumstance at all. We're going to do a good Brooklands, good Luffield as well, I believe. It kind of looks like I'm catching on to Danny. I mean, it's hard to tell. Obviously, the gaps will be so close. And I remember at the end of this lap, I didn't feel too disappointed with the lap. But as you see, they're almost losing the rear in Cops, and we almost invalidate. That was super, super close. Thankfully, we keep it within the white lines. Onto the S's now. Maggots and Beckett's were all right, but then the exit to Chapel was not so good. As you see, look how much time Danny gained here. He's quite a bit further up the road now. We are now 7/10 up, and I have no clue where I stand at this point. Jarno's behind as well. Lucas goes P1 now with a 31.1. I believe it will get beaten as we have an even drier track than he does. So I'm sure Paul will be faster as Jake will cross the line next. He goes P1. No, it doesn't go P1, but Danny Bersney goes P1 with a 31.1. I did a 31.5, and Freddie goes with a P1 with a 30.9. Yeah, I don't know how I was so far off. I mean, my S's were really bad. I know there's a few tenths there, but I didn't see a 30.9. I think Freddie did a really good lap there, and maybe we just didn't have the pace on the wet for this race as we thought we did, or maybe the setup was a bit too hard to drive, because watching the lap back, I was a bit all over the place, sliding a bit too much, and it's not good for the tires. It overheats very quickly, especially on a drying track. So yeah, it is what it is. We're starting P8, Barry in P11, still a decent starting position for myself. Q3 is where you want to be, and this is where the points will be scored in the race. So I'm not too disappointed with that. Right behind Jarno in P7 as well, and hopefully we can do a good race and a good strategy, because overtaking here is extremely, extremely hard. And from what we learned in Jeddah last event, we are definitely going to lower our wings and our downforce levels in the race for this race. Hopefully people do the same, or hopefully people don't do the same, sorry, and we can have a easier time defending on the straights. But yeah, obviously it's going to be harder to drive, but Silverstone is an easy track anyway. Also, I realized that you guys are asking for the camera settings. I will try and find a way to include the camera settings as soon as possible in one of the next videos. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm not home at the moment. But yeah, onto the race now. We're starting P8 on the softs. And look in front of us, Thomas and Jarno both on the medium, so we need to get rid of them. I get an amazing start, and I get past Jarno straight away here. And Tom Manley as well is on the medium in P5, so I need to get past them ASAP. Tamas Gal following me right behind. Hopefully we don't get into any incident here. Going around the outside here of Thomas into turn 4. We should have a really good exit compared to his mediums, and we should have an easy pass. Actually saying that, he also get a really good exit, and he's getting the toe from Tom Manley, but Thomas does not fight it. He knows that I'm on the soft tire. There's nothing to really fight for at this point for him. I'm not a threat to him at the moment, so he's not going to risk anything. And now on to Tom Manley. If we can get past Tom Manley and I'm P5, that is a very good position in this race, because I'm just a one lap undercut away from getting into the lead of the race. And from there on, it's relatively easy to manage, as Tom goes a little bit wide there in Cops. He probably got a warning, and hopefully if we get a good exit here out of Chapel, then maybe we can get him into Stowe. But as you see, look at the dirt here. It is extremely bad. But I told you before, our wings are super, super low, and we just get close to him very quickly, and he just gives up straight away, doesn't use any more ERS, and we are now into P5. Very good start. Freddie is P3 on the medium, so I'm thinking, damn, maybe I can get past Freddie as well before the tires drop off, and I'm on P4. And the train is good, because there's Jake, there's Lucas, and there's Danny as well leading right now. And if we can keep that train together and control it ourselves, the pace will be very, very strong. So Now Freddy falling down to P4 from pole. I'm not too sure why he started on the medium. Of course, in hindsight, it's still a good strategy. But starting from P1, I would never really start on the medium and lose all the work that I did in qualifying, to be honest. But anyway, Freddy here defends it quite a lot. We go around the outside and Brooklyn's here. He brings us wide a little bit, but it's okay. He leaves us space. But then on the inside, I just don't have enough space, and I touch the grass, and then yeah, I mean, it was hard to judge. I think maybe there was just about a car's width, but I couldn't avoid the grass in that moment. We're lap 8. We're gonna undercut Jake here, and I get so close to him. But let me explain. I was gonna pit the first lap that anyone in front of me pitted, and I saw Jake dive into the pits, and I had to do the same. But Jake was a bit too far ahead for me to be in the DRS range on the exit of the on my outlap. So if I nailed my pit entry very good and caught a few tenths to him, then I would be close enough to have his DRS and have a better outlap and overtake more people on my undercut strategy, and it worked beautifully. Look at the gap that it is from Jake to me now. It's just about enough for the DRS, and we are in front of Tamas Gal. I'm 9 tenths behind Jake, and I'm in front of Tamas, and that is all because of that pit entry. That pit entry was crucial. It was like, I can't stress it enough. That changed my whole race for sure. And as you can see now, using my battery to stay with Jake, and you'll notice during the next few laps that I will struggle to just pass Jake easily, because I'm on such a lower downforce setup and he's on such a higher downforce setup that in the corners he's gapping me a lot, and I don't have enough time on the straight to pass him comfortably. And obviously there's advantages and disadvantages between the setups, and my advantage was just ERS and being able to defend and be comfortable on the straights. But it's definitely harder to stay close and swap effectively with someone in front of me. So you'll see that I'm not going to swap with him much, only a few times. And you'll see he's going to get frustrated as well. He asked me after the race why I didn't swap enough with him, because if we kept swapping in these laps, it would be crucial, because we would create an even bigger gap to the train. Lucas now pitted. I don't know why he went one lap longer. And only, I mean, if you already know you're going to get undercut, why did you pit only a lap later? I mean, I didn't understand Lucas's strategy there. As you see, he was behind Tamas. But luckily for him, he gets past him at one point, and this is where the mediums start pitting onto the soft, or Danny, I think, actually went even longer on the soft and just put the mediums now. So he has, I believe, 3 or 4 lap fresher mediums than us now. So he will definitely catch up to us and be a threat. But now I just have to manage the race with Jake. Here is the first lap. I think I'm close enough to finally do an effective swap. So as you saw, it took me 3 laps to recharge my battery enough to be close enough and swap with him. And I think here he gets frustrated and he tells me to go, but he did one of the laps before anyway. But yeah, swap done. Lucas stays behind, and I'm gonna be in a sandwich. I already know at this point I'm gonna be in a Mercedes sandwich, and I've been in this position so many times before, in this track especially as well, against Red Bull in 2020 and 2021. And yeah, I know how to manage it, and I'll do my best to manage it as best I can. As now Barry has pitted onto the soft very, very early. Barry was one of the, I think, first runners from the mediums to pit onto the softs, because starting where he did, he just had to try something different, and I think that was the correct strategy anyway. So I think he even gets points here if I'm not wrong. So here Jake, close enough, uses some of his ERS, but I do as well, because I want to make sure that I keep Lucas behind. I don't want him to pass me and lose the top 2 positions, and it's just so crucial. Tamas is still just hanging by a thread. I think his pace was not very good. He struggled to be close or do anything really. So we almost gap him here actually, and I believe Danny is right behind him right now, and we'll just pass him on the straight, as I will pass Jake as well here. And you see he defended it, but not because he wanted to lose time, but because he wanted to keep the position from Lucas just behind. And yeah, I mean, we're still on lap 14, lap 15 now, and we have to go to bring these tires all the way to the end and defend from the people behind. Look at the train that is forming behind now with fresher tires. I mean, it just shows how hard it is to overtake, but I'm sure we will have some threats coming up very soon. Danny Beresney super close to Lucas now. I think he will try something in this lap or the next one. And if Danny gets behind me, it's going to be very hard. Two teammates working together as he is now. I'm in between the two Mercedes drivers and Freddy in P4 with the freshest softs. So I think he is looking to win the race at this point. But if me and Danny play it well, we can keep him behind. It's just that hard to overtake, and my straight line speed is so good that when I just come out of Chapel, I use some of my ERS, they just cannot overtake me. So I think the wings was a good choice for my race. Obviously, it's hard to say. Maybe the higher wings would have allowed me to be a bit faster and a bit closer to Jake. But I just wanted the ERS because I just wanted to try something different, and it's working very well so far. Danny sitting behind me at the moment. I think he's also thinking about Freddy, because if he goes for a move on me and it doesn't work or we lose time, Freddy's right there to overtake both of us, and he doesn't want to risk that straight away. I think he just wants to fight me in the end. And Freddy, I think he's just saving tires and ERS at this point. But look how close they are to me. I have to use my battery, and look, they just can't get past. I mean, I'm so fast on the straight, and they are stuck at this moment. So as long as we keep it like this, it's all good. But I doubt Freddy will just sit there. As you can see, actually on the mirror, dives down the inside of Danny there, side by side into the last corner. Come on, Danny, keep him behind. It's very crucial, and he does. Good job, Danny, there. But I'm sure Freddy will keep going now. As you can see, side by side into turn one. Once again, Danny keeps the position, and I always keep an eye on them because I don't care what Jake does now, but it's all about Freddy and Danny. And Freddy down the inside of turn 3, turn 4, side by side once again. Oh, yeah, it's very, very tight. Freddy's tires are, I would say, more than half a second quicker per lap. So here you see I move to the left to give Danny some slipstream, but I think Danny is running out of ERS. And side by side into Brooklyn's, Danny keeps the position. Very, very well defended by Danny, actually. It must be very hard to keep Freddy behind on those tires, so we're doing a very good job at the moment. But Danny here makes a mistake, and Freddy will go side by side once again into the last corner. And Freddy, being on the outside now, means he has the inside for next corner, and he overtakes Danny. So that one small mistake by Danny into Stone, cost him that place, and now is where the problems begin, because Freddy's tires will be much faster until the end of the race, and I don't know how much longer I can keep him behind. As you can see here, defending the inside, but he has a really good exit here, and he's right side by side with me, but I believe our straight line speed is better. As you can see here, look at how I just pull away. Yeah, thankfully I have those wings at the moment. It's really saving me, but this, I think, is the lap where Freddy will absolutely send it on me, and he's making me use all my energy, rightfully so. Does a little dummy on the inside here. He touches on my back of the car, and I have a really poor exit here, and he gets the switchback into the straight, and he puts me on the right side of the straight, which means I bottom out. As you can see, I was gaining on him on the straight, but staying on the right there, you bottom out and you lose so much speed, and he gets past me, no problems. I was very annoyed at that moment because I knew I could have defended it. I knew I could have kept the position a few more laps. And just that tap on the rear of my car really messed me up on that corner. And he got the switchback done, and he just gets past for free. So now I'm out of ERS. Trying to defend from Danny, who has 3 laps fresher mediums anyway. It's just going to be basically impossible to defend that. As you can see, he has so much more grip, and now it's just survival basically, because thankfully Lucas was behind me and his pace was not too good. Then I could keep myself in the train here and stay with the guys ahead. I was hoping that there would be a fight ahead, or a crash that I could get a position or something, but as you can see, nothing really happens. Freddy keeps the lead with his soft tires, which were amazing, crazy fast at the end of the race. There was nothing Danny and Jake could have done. And yeah, that is a double Mercedes podium once again. Freddy takes the win and myself in P4. So our championship contenders all in front of me, and that's not what you want to see. Yeah, the double Mercedes podium once again is crazy. Barry in P7 from P10, also very well done by him. The point gap is just getting bigger and bigger from us to the Mercs. I think it's more than 60, 70 points at this point, and yeah, it's gonna be tough. There's still 7 races left. Next one will be Spa. I think one of our strongest tracks of the year. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching once again, and have a good rest of your night. Goodbye, guys.